Assistant Accountant Richard von Coudenhove Kalergi. Today is July the 6th. It's a rather breezy day here. I'm just up at Hold the Line opposite the Plaza Hotel there in Tallaght. A very good response from the public. I was talking to a lady there, stopped a car, and she was saying that her mother got the vaccine on Thursday and by Friday she was in hospital with blood clots. And this lady worked for the HSE and she had just come from work and was applauding the work and still had her uniform on. And here's a couple of comments since my last video. It was good to hook up with a couple of people there at the March for Life, especially Blue Graham. It's good to see him and to put a name on the face for the comments. And Kevin Mohammed, great name by the way. And so here's a couple of comments since, well, I suppose Saturday really. Unfortunately, Zeb Zelenko there died at the age of 48. He was Trump's doctor, and he was the man that put forward what became known as the Zelenko, I almost said Zelensky, Zelenko protocol, which was to take a combination of zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D and quercetin, and it has the over-the-counter properties of hydroxychloroquine. And also there, last night I watched from the European Parliament MEP Christine Anderson had a meeting, a public meeting in the European Parliament which had senior pilots, barristers, and it was called Post-Fax Flight, Are You Safe to Fly? And one of the things that came up in this, which I found quite extraordinary, was the number of flights since the introduction of the rollout of the vaccine on pilots, the number of flights that have been diverted as a result of pilots having medical emergencies while flying. So it's a very relevant thing. Are you safe to fly? And also during the week I spotted an a US Air Force Learjet, a C-21A that left Ramsden coming up the Irish Sea. Nice aircraft, and landed in Ballinonal. And interestingly, I see Mihol has an invitation to visit Kiev. Yet again, another one of these celebrities going out to visit Zelensky in Kiev. Also, I got a reply from my Freedom of Information request regarding the deaths as the only cause of death on the death cert in 2020, and the answer I got back, same as Eddie Hobbs, was it was 61 people had died. COVID is the only cause of death on the cert, with 4 of them under the age of 65, and half of them were 85 years plus. Imagine that. And for 2021 the figure had risen to 92, with 6 under the age of 65, and yet again more than half were 85 plus, which is greater than the life expectancy already. And during the week Holohan admitted that 7 out of 10 in hospital were 65 years old or over, and none of those hospitalised were from the unvaxxed. During the week I spoke to a Brazilian lady whose brother at the age of 21, very nice lady she was too, at the age of 21 developed 4 major blood clots in his legs back home in Brazil, and she unfortunately and regrettably had to take the vaccine to travel back to Brazil to see her family. Also during the week I spoke to another lady who worked in a chemist in Galway that told me that after the vaccine the owner of the chemist developed shingles and unfortunately took the vaccine under duress of threat of using her job, which violates the Nuremberg Code of coercion. And also during the week I got talking to a chap who I was asking how he got on. As a friend of mine, how did he get on during the Marley concerts? And he was telling me that he walks his dog in a local field quite close to Marley, and he said he couldn't believe the amount of disused condoms that had been thrown around, which I'm assuming that this was where the young people were going after or during the concert. But there are a couple of comments which are my own. Thanks very much for listening. I recommend attending these Hold the Line events, and it's very interesting to see the interactions from people going by. Very few are actually negative, surprisingly. So I think people are becoming more aware of the deception of this lie. But the other question I forgot to mention about my Freedom of Information request was regarding vaccine deaths and injuries within 28 days of the vaccine. I didn't get a reply for that from the Central Statistics Office, as they said that information had not been compiled. Now what I will do is I'll follow that up with another letter, but this time it'll include a fee which I'll happily pay, and I'll keep you updated on that information when it arrives. But there are a couple of comments which are my own. Please support the Hold the Line demonstration. And there's young Peter, a stalwart of this, and always a pleasure to see him and a few other familiar faces. Alright, thanks very much. Good afternoon, good luck, and God bless.